Hi guys, and welcome to Angling For You, and you've joined me in a fantastic fishing tackle and bait in Doncaster, and today we are going to look at some margin poles. Now it's a question I get asked continuously: margin poles, which one do I get? We haven't got every margin pole in existence out here. We've got 9 different types, ranging in lengths, ranging in packages, ranging in price, ranging in quality. So as you can see, nestled here we've got the M2, which will be coming to the channel for a bit of time, along with the M1 as well, but we will still include it in today's sort of run through. Now we've got a couple of poles to my right which are slightly more expensive. Everything else is at 200 quid or under. So we've got some 7.5s, some 9.5s, 11s, 10 meters, around that kind of area. What we'll do is we'll give a waggle of each one. We'll have a little talk about it. Everyone, I won't remember every price. We've got some RIPs and some shop things. We will put them on screen with the packages so you know what they are. But what I will say is fishing tackle and bait will match anything that anybody else does as well. If you give them a ring up, come in, see what they've got. If there's something specific you want, you know, just give them a bell and they will sort that out for you. So we are going to start with the Maver Reality. So this is 9.5 meters. What I will say is some of these have got number 1 sections in. That will show you their true length that they say when you're buying the package. Sometimes you will measure them and there won't be the full length, and that's usually down to the fact that there's no number 1 section in and you're measuring from a number 2 section. So just bear that in mind. Personally, as long as the pole feels right for me, I'm happy with that. So it's down to your preference whether you are desperately needing that exact length. But so do bring a tape measure or ask the boys here, and if you are conscious on that length, I'm sure they'll do it for you. So we'll pick up the Maver Reality. Now I've got no thoughts that this is going to be the nicest pole in the world and it certainly, as you can see, is not. It is all over the place. Now what I'll say is, if you've got 100 to 200 pounds in your bank ready to buy a margin pole for your starter, don't even give this a look. Some of the Maver range are fantastic, and the Inoculus and all the other ones going into the higher ranges and even the lower ranges are great, but this is not something that I would pick up. For a margin pole, you want something that's going to be stiff, strong and robust. None of that applies to what I feel now by holding this in my hand. As you can see, just gentle movement, and you can see it is absolutely all over the place, like a banana. I wouldn't even give it time of day. If you were gonna get something for your little ones and you were to bring it a little bit further down and you wanted your kids to fish closer in, and you take that really heavy last section off, a couple of sections, that's not too bad. As you can see there, that's probably around 7 meters or so. Now I've taken off the 2 end and it's actually quite stiff and it's actually quite responsive. As soon as you start to put those longer sections on, you're into banana central. So we'll put that down. That's 100 quid. So it's not unusable, but at full length it doesn't feel great, and it's not something particularly I would recommend. If you're getting your kids into it, I'd rather spend some better money on something second hand than buy that, if I'm honest. What I would be looking at if you're really starting, and it's about 150 quid, so you're talking 50 quid more than that, is something like this white knuckle Friller from Midi. Again, it's not the lightest pole in the world, but you can see dramatically the stiffness. Now it is shorter, but actually it's not, yeah it is, it's shorter by 1 meter, but still it's a lot stiffer, and this will land and put, you know, some serious beastie kits and elastics you can put in this one. And 150 quid, can't really go wrong. 8.5 meters. So if you want something around that similar bracket but slightly stepped up in price, let's have a look at the Sensus first, see how much of that is. So the Sensus is actually a tenner more, so let's pick that up. So this Sensus is the Sensus T-Rex. and this is at the exact same length as we just saw the Reality at 9.5, and my God, look at the difference. And we are talking 60 quid, but that is 60 quid well spent, is that, in comparison. It even feels, me and Matt were discussing before, I don't actually, Maeve, it doesn't actually feel like a carbon fibre pole. It feels like the old canal poles that you used to get back in the day. That is properly stiff. And as you can see from the action, the recovery is really good. It's got some shadow kits on it. Again, I'll put the kit up. And it's billed as a specimen and carp, as all of these are. And to be honest, I'd happily fish with that all day long. 9.5 metres, that's lovely. It really is, does feel nice, that. That might be one to tell Glyn about. It might be another one to his Sensors family. So that's a really good buy. But, and again, if you're going to measure this, you need to be measuring it against the Edge Monster margin. Now, this is a fan favourite, I would say. The amount of people that have got this pole, purely on some of the reviews we've done, and just because, you know, Preston is such a well-known brand. This is 10 metres. And I already know what this is like. You know, it's well stiff enough at 10 metres. The Sensors is slightly stiffer because it's a shorter pole. But the other thing with the Preston ones is a longer top kit. It's a longer top kit than the Response, probably by about 60 centimetres actually. And they've got the side roller pullers, which are really decent. And again, we'll put the package up there. But you can see it's more than capable if you did decide you want to do a bit of shallow fishing, but absolutely capable of destroying massive fish down the edge. And that's pretty much what it's made for, and builders. So this is probably what I would call a fan favourite, and there's so many people that get this. But I'm telling you now, there is, before I tell you the M2, I'll show you the power carp. That's only 7.5 metre, but you can get 8.5, 9.5 metres as well, which would be slightly more than this. But the new M2 rivals this Edge Monster all day long. So I'm going to pick up the power carp first. So this is only 7.5 metres. This 180 quid, but it is very light, very stiff, super strong. You can get the longer, like I said, 8.5, 9.5 metres. But if you're wanting something just for really short, which a lot of your edge fishing is done anyway, you're not really on length, it's for shorter fishing. But if you want something that could do everything, that is light, strong, super stiff. Really is a good bit of kit, that. But we're going to move on to that direct comparison. And we're going to do some fishing with it and a lot of time spent with it. And it's the Midi M2. Now this is a new boy. It's only just come out. It replaces the old M2 and it's a couple of £100, but my God, is it impressive. I mean, that is unbelievably stiff and super strong. You can put 30 elastic through this bad boy, which is absolutely crazy. And obviously the reactor core, their biggest elastic, goes up to 30. And that is some serious elastic. And just so light, so stiff, got that lovely ship back feel as well on it. And what I'm going to try and do is, if I can, I'm going to try and pick those up side by side, and you can get a direct. So there, look at the difference in stiffness. I'm actually holding the butt end of the Edge Monster slightly higher than the Midi, and it's so stiff, that Midi on this side, and you can see, I mean, it's not a bad pole, is the Edge Monster, but that Midi trumps it by a mile in regards to stiffness. So that's going to be interesting to see what that's like on the bank to fish with. And the other thing with the Midis as well is they've got a G-Pulse, a reversible, so this goes in the 6th and the 7th section, and it also flips around and goes into another section as well, which is great. And it's just to have one of them bits of power, and just makes it better, doesn't it? Especially when you're mongling big boys out the edge. So that takes us up to the prices that are a little bit more up the scale, and the first one I'm going to pick up It's something that we've done a review on in the past. It's something that Matt used to have. This is 329 quid, and this is the M20 map pole. Now, I've always had a soft spot for map. I've had a lot of them. They're great poles. This one is same as the others, 8.7 meters, slightly smaller than the 9 meters, but super stiff, super strong. Matt's caught plenty of fish on it. I've had a go on it. As you know, with map, there's so many different kits you can go. They're all interchangeable. That's why map poles are good. But same with the reactor core range with the middies. You can obviously interchange kits for that as well. So that's a comparative to the next one that I'm going to show you, which is the M3. Now, the M3 is a little bit different. It's a wild card in this margin setup because it actually goes up to 13 meters, so it's technically not a margin pole. I did just want to show you it because it's on here, and because we've got the M2, we thought we'd put the M3 on because it is. So if you want the 11.5 meter package, which is similar to some of the lengths here, it's 600 quid, and if you want the 13 meter package, it's 700 quid. So obviously it's way above this, but not far from the tournament that I'm going to show you in a minute. So if you got it 11.5 meters, 600 quid, you're around the tournament money, and the tournament is less than that. It's 9.5 the tourney. I think it's 9.5 the tourney, isn't it? So I'm not 100%, but I'm 98% sure that the tourney is 9.5 meters. So you can see again, as you'd expect when you pick up the M3, same as your M2, it's really stiff, really light, and just a quality pole, which is outstanding for this price bracket, really. So, you know, really good. I'm going to put that one down just on the end of here, and we're going to get this tournament out. Like I said, the tournament seems expensive for what, you know, for what it actually comes with. It's 9.5 meters. It don't actually come, I think it comes with 1 or 2 top kits. It's not a lot of kit. It's at 790 is the RIP, but it's around 550, I think, something like that. Now I looked at this when I got the 1001 map, and the 1001 map 1 just trounced this completely. It's as stiff as that M20, and it's just a better pole. And I just don't think you get enough with this, to be honest. And you can see it is light, but look, it's not stiff. It is quite a floppy pole, and for the money you're spending there, you expect a really good kits with it, and you expect a bag and stuff. I don't think it's got a bag. I think it just comes in a tube. When I rang up about it to Angling Direct around sort of a year ago. So I mean, for me, save your money and get an M20. If you want to spend a little bit of money on a margin pole, save your money and get an M20, or even better, save even more and get either an M2 or an M3. You know, they're outstanding, the M2 and the M3. For me, all day long. I mean, there's such a variety, and there's such a variety of other poles. We're just trying to give you an outline of a few different types. Some that you would normally see. Everybody sees the normal poles and the Response and all that kind of stuff. We've done reviews on that before, and the Beastmaster and all that. These are just an eclectic mix. Now for me, if it's my money and I'm at the 200 quid, there's no other pole like that for 200 quid. That's ridiculous. If you want to spend a little bit more, then you got to look at the M20. I mean, it comes with a great package. You're always going to be able to get spares for it. You're always going to be able to get top kits. That's a winner all day long, is that M20. And if you want to go a little bit longer, but you still want the strength of a margin pole, that's when your M3 comes into play, and you can get that extra strength and the extra length, because obviously your M20 is only around 9 meters, just under. So hopefully this gives you a sort of a rundown of each. What we'll do just before we finish the video is Matt's going to come up close with the camera. I'll do a little voiceover. We're just going to scan down the graphics. It just gives you a little bit of a close-up of the graphics and what they look like. Right guys, so we're just going to lift them up one by one. This is the White Knuckle Thriller. Matt's just going to just have a little zoom in for you so you can see the graphics. Nice silver finish, smoked out graphics. Just a nice pole to hold and nice to ship back. Right, so the next one is the M2, and like I said, it's got a lovely slip finish, really nice graphics with the silver, the orange, the white, it just looks fantastic. And the next one, right, so the Edge Monster. Most of you have seen the Edge Monster in action when I've done videos of it in the past. Nice smoked out graphics with a blue, lovely slip finish on it. The Maybe Reality looks pretty good, to be fair, like nice and bright in your face, a bit like the Matrix stuff. You know, clear graphics, lots of information that's clear, and yeah, nice and simple, easy to read. The Power Cap, again, that one's got like the little orange and white sort of smoked out again. Nice big graphics as well. Nice slip finish on this one as well, with a nice Daiwa logo a little bit further down embossed on there, which looks pretty nice. Right, so this M3, obviously very similar to the M2. It's almost identical, just with a 3 instead of a 2, and it just has that nice slip finish to it, and a sort of grey orange graphics. Looks bob on. And this is probably one of my favourite looking ones out of them all, the Sensus T-Rex. I think that looks really cool, bold graphics. I love the number 14 on the end. You know, Carp and Specialist. You know you've got a tool in your hand when you've got hold of it. I'm really impressed. This is my wild card for sort of 160 quid. I think that's an absolute bargain for 9.5 meters. And again, like most map poles, it's all smoked out. Everything's smoked out right in. Got the M20 badge there in green. And your little competition, was it being part of the competition family, but looks really good. And last but not least, tournament. Now this just looks like every other tournament and every other Daiwa pole. I wish Daiwa would change around how they outlay some of their final sections, because the Arity, the Air, the Tournament, you know, they're all the same colour, and it's just the writing that gives it away. But yeah, not bad. They all look nice looking pole. Right guys, so a nice little eclectic mix of price, and you've got to see what they feel like, what they look like. The only next best thing I can always suggest when you get a pole is to come and sit on a box and experience it for yourself. That's just how you get the feel of what you're buying. But I feel free to ask me any advice you want. We are totally independent, and we will give you honest advice, and you know, depending on your budget and what kind of fishing you do, I will totally guide you to what product that will be from a multitude of different suppliers. Not one pole fits everybody, and balance and strength and all sorts of things come into play. So yeah, definitely come down to Fishing Tackle and Bait and check that out. We are, myself and Matt, along with the team here, are looking at an open day, so keep your eyes peeled on the group for this. So this is going to be an open day to come down to the shop. It's going to be discount available for Angling For You members. It's going to be brilliant. You'll meet both myself and Matt. You can ask us about anything that you want to ask us. We can come and sit on boxes, try gear, any gear in the shop with you. You can just come and ask our advice along with the team that are absolutely superb and plenty of knowledge, and at the end of the day you get to a 10% discount on that as well. So just keep your eyes out for that. You know, we're looking forward to that. We're probably going to do it on a Saturday, so it's, if people want to come, it's the most usual day that, you know, you can come down. It's an easy day to get people down there. So if you want to join us and look at any of the Facebook things that we have on in the Facebook group, it's Angling For You. Loads of great members on there. If you want to just look at photos and see what we're up to, Angling_for_you on Instagram. And if you want to look at any other videos, go on our playlist. There's loads that are to do with equipment, but there's also features, challenge videos, all sorts of stuff on there. So give them out a try, and if you could like, share and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. And until the next one guys, tight lines.